Coffea is located on the corner of Rose Street and Coliseum Plaza. It's a small coffee shop on the outskirts of campus right next to the North Dorms. The outside of Coffea is not very appealing, with little to no parking available and giant dumpsters in front. This is due to the renovations Coffea is making, along with the construction next door. Once you step inside, it promotes a completely different atmosphere. The ceilings are lined with wooden crates with bags marked coffee beans. The booths are held by wooden beams designed to look like bamboo, and the wallpaper has imprinted bamboo paintings. One unusual poster I noticed was hung near the register promoting discount opportunities for anyone supporting gay pride. I was curious as to how this and other issues affected Coffea, so I talked to some customers in the coffee shop. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions about Coffea?
No, go ahead.
Okay, what was your name, and do you go to the University of Kentucky?
My name is Colin Latsko, and I do go to the university. I'm a freshman.
Why did you decide to come to Coffea? Do you come here often?
This is one of my first times coming to Coffea, and I came here basically because one of my friends told me that their coffee was pretty good and it was cheaper than Starbucks. But it's a lot less crowded than the library and stuff whenever I do work here, and it's more relaxing, I'd say.
Did you find it hard to park due to the renovations of Coffea and the construction next door?
Yeah, it was pretty hard to find parking, but I decided to park over at Pizza Hut, and I just took my chances there.
Did you know that Coffea supports gay pride? How do you feel about this? Do you think it affects business?
I personally didn't know that it supported gay pride, but it really wouldn't have an effect on me, and I know that a lot of other students also probably didn't know that either, so I really don't think it would have a detrimental effect on their business.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to me.
Oh, no problem.
After speaking with Colin, I was not surprised with his answers. This was his first time in Coffea, so he hadn't had a major reaction to the space like I was looking for. He talked about how the support for the LGBTQ wasn't a big issue for him. He even went above to say he doesn't think many students on campus would be affected by Coffea supporting it. The one thing that stuck out to me in this interview was that Colin had to park in Pizza Hut's parking spaces. I found this intriguing because this could lead to Coffea customers getting parking tickets solely because they had nowhere to park. This could be a huge drive down in Coffea's business if their customers aren't able to get into Coffea. This led me to my next interview with a girl who just ordered a coffee. This is Kylie, a sophomore at UK, and she agreed to answering some questions for me. Do you come to Coffea often?
Yeah, I've been coming here since my freshman year.
Have you found it difficult with all the construction renovations that have been going on?
Yeah, it's been weird. There isn't much room, and parking has been extremely difficult lately.
Really? Has that turned you away from coming sometime?
A couple of times. If I can't find a spot, I won't come, but typically I can figure something out.
And Coffea is a supporter and promoter of the LGBT community. How do you feel about this? Does it have any effect on you?
I have noticed that and wondered if anyone was affected by it, but I really don't think it would affect business. People come here for the coffee and the space, not entirely what they promote.
Okay, well thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, no problem.
This interview shed some light on just how much an effect Coffea's parking issues can turn away customers. Kylie even stated, if I can't find a spot, I won't come. This is something Coffea needs to be aware of to realize the business they are losing due to the parking inconveniences. One thing Kylie said that I appreciated was her saying, people come here for the coffee and the space. This shows that Coffea has great potential and the business that they have continues to come back again and again, regardless of the inconveniences or groups Coffea decides to support. I decided to record one more person just to get a better understanding of how people perceive Coffea. The last person I spoke to was a senior at the UK who offered to answer some questions for me.
Do you come to Coffea often?
Yeah, I come about 3 to 5 times a week to get my work done.
I noticed a lot of construction and renovation going on. Has that affected your ability to get here?
No, Coffea is only a 5-minute walk from my apartment, so I don't have to worry about parking.
Also, Coffea supports the LGBT community. How do you feel about this? Do you think it affects business?
Here's your coffee.
Thanks, man. Well, personally, I was pretty upset when I found out they were supporting it, only because it's something my religion doesn't support.
Yet you still come back?
Yes, I've been coming here to study for the past 2 years, and honestly didn't know where else to study at.
Thanks for answering my questions.
Yeah, no problem.
I found this interview to be the most important and most beneficial because Brandon had been a regular customer of Coffea for the past 4 years. He also was the one person I met that did have an issue with Coffea supporting gay pride. He stated if he hadn't been such a loyal customer, this would have been a turn-off for him. He also said that it was against his religion for him so he was thrown off to see Kafia supporting it. Kafia, though supporting the LGBT community, does it in a respectable manner. In no case does it seem like they're shoving in people's faces. I think that is very important for customers such as Brandon to feel comfortable while being there, even though he doesn't support what they do.
After talking to these 3 customers, I hope to talk to a manager or employee to get their viewpoint. But after asking 4 times and being turned down again and again, I realized I would just have to go off the interviews I already had. The employees would tell me a different excuse each time, one being they were too busy, then that the manager only does interviews and he was unavailable. Another told me she had no authority or right to answer my questions, and lastly, they just weren't interested. I found this incredibly odd considering I had nothing bad to ask, just how their business was running. After listening to my interviews, I know it sounds like I'm discussing 2 completely unrelated topics, but in a sense, they are directly related. Both the parking difficulties and the support of gay pride have a strong connection to business. Kafia is a place where they rely heavily on their coffee. It's apparent they aren't worried about driving customers away with these issues. This got me interested in what makes a business successful, so I started doing research and I found a website dedicated to helping businesses. This website was Marketing Donut, and number 5 on their list of how to promote your business is undergo a makeover. If your business looks attractive, more customers are likely to come through your door. I suppose maybe this is why Kafia is undergoing renovations, but I also think they should have considered the difficulty with parking and appearance while renovating. As we heard earlier from the customers, it has been an issue, and like Kylie said, she has had to turn away a couple of times. This and the controversy of Kafia supporting gay pride are 2 large aspects that can affect business. 1/3 of the people I talked to claimed they were upset with Kafia for being so public with supporting the LGBT community. Now in this case, Brandon said he still went to Kafia because he had been going for so long, but who's to say this hasn't turned away other customers? These 2 issues go hand in hand when discussing the success of Kafia. I'm glad I was able to talk to customers and get feedback to how they react to Kafia's issues.